Dad, what's the future gonna look like?
All right, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for this opportunity to present to such a fantastic crowd. My name is Joe Turner. I am one of the founders and the COO of HAVOC AI, and I'm here to talk to you about HAVOC. At HAVOC, we are building the future of collaborative maritime autonomy. So what does that mean exactly? Let me give you an example. Admiral Paparo, who's in charge of the US Navy fleet in the Pacific, has stated that he wants to create an unmanned hellscape to deter aggressors and meet aggressors in the Pacific theater. But to create that unmanned hellscape, we're going to need more than 1 or 2 or 10 or 100 vehicles. We're going to need thousands and tens of thousands of autonomous assets. And in order to control those properly, it needs to be more than one operator controlling one vehicle, or even one operator controlling 5 or 10 vehicles. What we need is software that can enable one operator to control thousands or tens of thousands of vehicles easily through an intuitive interface. For that software to work, those vehicles, those autonomous assets, have to be able to talk to each other, plan, and operate on their own at the direction of a human. And that is what collaborative autonomy is. We are building this in the maritime space. So about a little less than 2 years ago, my co-founder Paul and I were at a technical readiness exercise put on by the DoD's R&D arm. And the head of DoD's R&D came up to us and said, all these vehicles here are great, but what we really need is thousands of them today. We need them now. And we looked at each other, we thought, we can do that. And so we quit our jobs, started on the path with HAVOC. So, we learned quickly that the problem was more than manufacturing, right? The problem was more than vessels. It was the software to control them. It was the communication and orchestration of those vehicles. So we went down the path of building a team to work on that software and build those vehicles. Fast forward 1 year, we were at, fast forward 2 years to 2 weeks ago, we were at an event out in Hawaii put on by the US Army called X-Tech Pacific. They were evaluating several commercial solutions for maritime autonomy, a head-to-head competition. We were against companies that had been established longer and that had raised much more money than we had, multiples more. But at the end of that 2 weeks, we came out on top because we focused on the software, we focused on what was needed, and we delivered the product as quickly as possible. And I'd like to share with you a video from that experience. So all those vessels you saw in that video were autonomously operated, working together. When we started, we looked at the entire market, and we thought, why is maritime autonomy moving so slowly? And we realized a lot of companies like to focus on the vehicle itself and building a great USV. We wanted to focus on the software. So we partner with other boat builders to build vehicles. We do produce our 15-foot Rampage on the right. It's a low-cost vehicle that we can build rapidly and iterate quickly with our software. Allows us to get on the water, and since We were here a year ago. We've got over 10,000 test hours, 12,000 total, 10,000 test hours since last year of multiple boats, 5 to 10, working together as a team. The other boat in that video was that middle boat, the 42-foot Kaikoa, built by a partner of ours out in Hawaii. Within 1 week of showing up in Hawaii, we had that boat operating autonomously, and within 2 months, it was a member of that team that won the X-Tech prize. And finally, we have our 100-foot Atlas boat, also built by the boat builder in Hawaii. This 100-foot boat can carry large payloads, it can carry Connex boxes, and it is operating autonomously now in the water using our software. People have been building boats for thousands of years. We didn't need to focus on that. So we work with our partners to build it. But I can tell you all I want about how good our software is and show you these PowerPoint slides. What I'd like to do instead with our remaining couple minutes is do a live demonstration. So we're going to bring up our vessels in Rhode Island. They're in the water now. This is a live stream, and we've got our UI being operated by wonderful Alexa in the back. And we are going to control these boats from here on stage, operating them back in Rhode Island, which you'll be able to see here. I will say, this is close to the end of the day in Rhode Island. This river does have rowers on it, so we may pause for a second, and I'll tell you why that's happening. But for now, we're going to get them moving. So Alexa, could you move this group of boats into a blockade further down, please? And the way we like to do this is look at it as a team concept, right? Think about it. Forgive the sports analogy, but this is like a football coach calling in a play. And the team on the field knows what the play is, knows what their end goal to achieve is. We're in a minute hold just to let another boat go by. But the team knows what the play is, and they're going to execute it. They're going to read the defense. They're going to read the conditions on the field. Someone's going to slip and fall, and they're going to compensate for that. Someone's going to break through the defense. They're going to compensate for that. The boats on the water understand what's happening, and they make those decisions without the operator having to. And we can scale these. This is a team of 4. This is a pretty small river, small area to operate in. We can scale this to hundreds or thousands. We can have multiple teams doing multiple things. They can be heterogeneous teams, different boats, different sensors, different payloads, operating together without the human having to make those decisions for it. We've shown it with our Kaikoa boats. We're showing it now with the Atlas, and that is what we're trying to build, that software that allows one person to effectively employ these teams over really vast areas.
Boats are moving.
Boats are moving, thank you. Apparently if I don't stand right here, I can't hear, so sorry. I'll try to stop moving. So our boats are moving to a different blockade. You'll see them. We've ordered it. They're moving to the right, and then we'll put them in a search pattern. This search pattern is defined by us. It could be defined by someone who has a special search algorithm. It can have different sensors looking for different things, and then we build up the queue. Tell it what to do once it finds something. You can basically preload a playbook for these teams and send them out to do their mission. They report back and give you the information you need when you need it. Not overwhelming an operator. Not overwhelming an operator with completely unnecessary information. So we're in a short hold again. Lots of boats in the area, as you can see. Oh. It's one of the joys of testing in Rhode Island on a river that is used by the public. I think the Brown rowing team might be going by right here. So, we're a little more maneuverable than them. We like to stay out of their way. But these boats are equipped with collision detection avoidance, right? We focus on software that allows them to operate, allows them to see what's in front of them, know their environment, and execute the mission that the larger team is trying to make happen. So I see we're running a little lower on time here, and I don't know how soon these rowers are going to get out of the way, but I do want to invite any and all of you to come down to our booth in the Truesdale Pavilion. We have our simulator set up, and we can show you this on a much larger scale, operating almost anywhere in the world. And you can see how easy it is for a user to walk up to a computer, understand what's happening, and command these boats. At HAVOC, when you start, within 2 hours of on your first day, we have people out on the water operating these boats. So we've got them moving again. We've got the rowing team out of the way. They're finally coming to the south. And I think, Alexa, if we can just put them in a search right now, that'll wind it down for us. The last thing I want to say is we were here a year ago. My co-founder, Paul, was on the stage. We had just closed our $11 million seed round. We were maybe a group of 11 or 12 employees. In that year, we've produced 80 of these Rampage USVs. We've integrated onto 2 of those 42-footers. We have our 100-footer boat. We have countless other boats that we're working to integrate on. We're at 80 employees, and we are moving extremely fast. So we thank UP Partners for their support. We thank all of our investors for their support, and I thank you all for your time.
The future is gonna be awesome.